and I'm back with a video, and I guess you could say this is part 2 of the beginner scrapbook kit that I posted in my last video. And today I'm going to do a layout using the essentials and some of the tools that I mentioned in that video, and also some of the papers that I showed you that I would recommend to a beginner scrapbooker. I think we decided on using a hip kit club because whether you live in the States or internationally, you can get this. So we decided to go with this, and this again is just a scrapbook subscription kit, and this is just a basic one. Here I have some stitch stars, but this could be like embellishments. Here are enamel dots, also embellishments. Some ephemera pieces, which are die cut pieces, which is really just cut up pieces of decorated paper. And sometimes they have different textures, like here's some cork. Sometimes they'll have vellum, but I think this one just has cork. Also decorative. We have some alphas, some stickers, and the papers. So I'm actually going to be gifting this kit plus a few more things to my niece. So I don't want to use a lot of this. So this layout's going to be fairly simple, which is perfect because when you're a beginner, you kind of are a little intimidated to use all the things. You kind of like slowly start and that's okay. That's how I started. Or maybe you just put so much into it that you actually need to simplify. Whichever way, this actually putting me on a limit to use very minimal and just have it real simple is actually really good for my first layout to show y'all if you were to have these things as a beginner scrapbooker. I don't have anything else. I'm not including anything else. I'm sticking to just this. Let's get to it. Okay, so here I am taking my photo and going through every paper in the kit and seeing which one I want as my background. Since the photo is dark, I want a white or light background, so this floral one is really close to being the runner-up. And then I like this cork, but maybe not for the background, maybe to back it up. I also like that black, spots there. And so I put that to the side. Everything on the right is ones that I know I'm not going to use for sure, like the houses, those hearts, and the blues, and I'm putting those to the side. And then out of those, there was 5 papers, and narrowed down to 3, and from 3 I chose 2 to see which ones here. And I really think I'm going to go with this floral one for my background. And so I put this paper aside there, and I'm going to trim this little piece off. In the photo there was like, I guess the tint made it, whatever was on the tint, it made it look like the photo was a little off skewed, so just trimming that off so it could look like it's balanced, it's centered. And now I'm going to go through the ephemera pack. Nowadays there's lots of big pieces in ephemera packs, and some of us scrapbookers just don't know what to do with them because they're really big. They're really good for layering pieces, and so that's what I'm doing here, just layering behind my photos or maybe layering behind the title. And so I'm picking out all the pieces that I think that will go great with this layout and the photo, and putting them to the side on the top to separate it from the rest of the pack of ephemera. So this also saves me time, and I don't have to look through it over and over again. And I really like that peachy one. I thought it actually matches this hair piece that I made for her. And also that cork piece, the and, that's cute too. And now, what am I going to do now? Oh, so I figured since I already have that craft looking tag for layering piece, then I won't use that craft paper. And then I thought, no, let's not do that polka dot because the back of it's really pretty and I want to use that for my niece. And I actually really do like the contrast of this paper, but I thought it was just too pretty to not use for fussy cutting. And maybe that's something that I would want her to explore in fussy cutting. And so I didn't want to use that paper up for her. So then I thought, okay, let's go back into the papers that I didn't want originally and see what I can use to frame this photo and make it stand out. And I picked out this paper. Number one, it's a bit too serious for my niece's style.
And so I figured I don't think she would mind if I use this. And also it brings in some yellows, and that's part of the photo and also part of the watercolor background. So I'm just going to trim that up. Both this paper and that floral paper are exclusive to the Hip Kit Club. So sometimes the Hip Kit Club will include papers that only you will get if you're subscribed to their kit, which I think is pretty neat, pretty cool. And here I'm just trimming off the branding strip um, on the bottom there. You don't need that. And now I'm just going to tape it here. I really wanted to add something from my stash to make it more delicate, but I had to stick to just my supplies. And now I'm just figuring out the placement of this tag. I really don't want to cover up all those holes, all that detail completely. So I'm just seeing which orientation is the best for it. Either do I do it vertical or do I do it horizontal? And I think I go with vertical. And here was just a scrap piece of the branding strip, I think. And I thought maybe I got that in, but it was not that light feeling that I wanted for this photo of my niece and I at our wedding. Then I go through the ephemera that I picked out that would go well with this photo. And so I really like this paint. Well, it looks like a paint, what do they call it? Sample. They're like little paint samples, but there's a specific name for them. I can't think of it right now, but I loved it because it said tutu, and for my niece, she was our flower girl, and I got her this really pretty tutu for her, and so it just was perfect. I really like this chipboard ampersand, but I'm wondering, even now, if it's going to compete with a title that I want to put on the bottom left hand corner there. And so I'm thinking I like the cork because it also brings out the craft from the tag I have up there, and so there will be a balance. But I was figuring out what I wanted my title to say, so I thought maybe I should put my niece's name and us. But then I thought if I use the thickers to spell out our names, I would basically be using all of her thickers, almost just about, or at least all of the vowels. And I didn't want to do that, so I had to think of another title. And so the ampersand just didn't work out, which is really bum. I really wanted it to, but if I were keeping the supplies and the kit was all mine, then I probably maybe I would have tried doing such a long title, but knowing me, I kind of like to keep my titles short or just like a short phrase or something like that. But to put Naomi and Nathan and me, that's a lot. So then I thought, oh, I'll put dancing with you, and that'll be better. I'm only using like one of her vowels, I think, or maybe two, or maybe three. Anyways, I speed this up quite a bit because I'm just, just putting the thickers down there, foam thickers, which are my favorite because they're the stickiest compared to chipboard alphas. Foam alphas are more stickier and they're likely to stay on your pages, or as chipboard, you might have to glue them down or staple them or whatnot. Okay, next, oh my goodness. So, okay, cork is so cool sometimes and not so much sometimes because it's so delicate. It's really thin. Even though it's a textured thing, it can be a little thin. And you'll see here in a moment why I say that. But right now I'm going through my ephemera because I wanted to put dancing with you with thickers, but I didn't like the abbreviation for with. So I figured, oh, I'll just write it out, which would be kind of cool because I am going to give this layout to my niece and she'll have a bit of my handwriting in there. So I think that's neat. So I put it out with pencil first just to make sure I don't mess up because once you do it in pen, that's it. And I didn't want to use up another piece of that ephemera. And so I'm just here, just tracing it over with the American Crafts pen that I recommend. Here I tried to put roller adhesive on my cork, and it just started coming apart. And I do that because what if I want to move it around? But I could have done it with a glue dot. Maybe that would have been a lot better. But I just went ahead and went with glue because I didn't mention glue dots in my essentials, so I had to stick with glue. And it works. I just can't move it. The placement I'm going to put it on that's it. And here I am trying to put the the little corner back, all these little pieces back, and it's just, oh my goodness. But eventually I get it. And I really love this Love You Tons. And I actually do like that pop of teal now that I look at it. But I don't know. I also love that bird, but it was just too big. And I don't know if I wanted to. I could have brought in another element, like another, because I have the florals. You could bring in some birds, maybe some butterflies. What if you want to add hearts and stars? And so that's a lot of different shapes, a lot of different elements there. So I just went down with Best Over there and kept the title just popping. So those stars I'm not going to use because I just don't, it's not going with the feel of the layout. And now I'm going to look here at these phrases and see if there's anything that I want to use. And I actually ended up using the little decorative puffy stickers that they have around the stars. And I actually got the idea of dancing with the stars. And so that's why I thought, oh, stars, perfect. It's kind of funny what you think of that will inspire you or will give you ideas to add to your scrapbook pages. But it works. And so I'm just putting that down. Later on, though, I don't show it here, I do glue those puffy stickers because puffy stickers aren't like the best at staying put for a long period of time. So just to reassure it, I go back with glue. I always try to do groups of 3s. And then I got this underline thing there, and I put it under U to just pop up that U just a bit more. And the black also goes well with the blacks in the photo and my handwriting. Here, these are what you would call like enamel dots. I'm going to be using mostly the pinks and the reds. And normally I would want something to pop even more, but I'm getting comfortable with putting tone on tone with each other. It's totally okay, totally fine. And I'm spreading them out, kind of diddle-daddling here to see where they best frame the photo and my title. That one wasn't sticking well because I propped it on top of the photo, but if I tucked it underneath the photo, it would stick just fine. And I'm moving it a little bit because I don't want it to look like it's exact in line with the enamel dot. That's something I don't like. I like to spread it out a little bit more, make it look a little not on purpose.
Okay, so I am done with my layout. Yeah, it came out really cute. This paper is pretty awesome because it already has a lot of it done for you, like the splatters. So there's probably like 3 colors right here, maybe 4. And you would have had to buy the individual mists yourself, and so that's already done. They have watercolor flowers there, so that was cool. I think this is great for a beginner's scrapbook layout and just using just those simple things. If you don't have the kit, you could definitely find all this stuff in stores. There's die cut pieces in stores, there's enamel dots in stores, there's decorative stickers, word stickers, sentiments in stores, alphas, paper. Yep, all of this stuff is in stores as well. So in my next video, I am going to add, I guess if you have been scrapbooking for like, I don't know, a month, the additional tools that you would add to your stash. I've noticed working on this layout, I wanted to reach for some extra essentials. I know that sounds funny, extra essentials, but that's the best way I can describe it, where it's something that I use all the time now also on my layouts. And I noticed that I didn't add that to just the basics, and that's okay because I made a layout just doing the basics. However, been scrapbooking for years now, I noticed that I could have used something else here to make it stronger or to have a better handle on it and stuff. Anyways, thank you. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope this encourages you and just like pushes you out the door to go and get your supplies. Don't be scared and start creating. Bye.